Hello, Pisces. Welcome to a very special combination reading. So, just to kind of give everybody a heads up of what we're doing here, we're going to look at July and August. I'm starting with your sign since you had to wait the longest last month, and I'm getting every sign caught up at least 1 month ahead. We might do this twice to make sure that we get maybe even 3 months ahead. That way I can stop in during the course of a month and do some mid-month check-ins, some elemental checkpoints, but we can start to have more of a cache of future videos for you to plan, hopefully getting us a full quarter ahead. That's the goal. We're going to completely change everything with respect to the spread. Whatever I've done before, I'm not doing today. And you're the first sign that I'm getting to engage with and kind of invent this with, which is so fun. So this is one of the biggest changes I've done in like 10 years. And I'm starting with you, Pisces. So thank you for your patience, and this is my way of giving back. All of that being said, one commonality is some channeled messages. So there were two things that came through loud and clear. One thing that I see in my mind's eye is like a construction site, something that's nearly built, but what I see on the side here is like some nuts, some bolts, some screws, some things that either need to be done before, something's ready to be shipped off, or something that might have been missed and you have to go back and make sure that it's properly attended to. In the case of the latter, it could be annoying, and there may be this desire just to push something out anyway and fix it later. I would say to avoid this. This is especially true for anybody that has a company, and I see this so often with products and services. They get released as a beta or like a partial release, and it's just buggy and not ideal. You get one chance to make an impression. And if you don't make a good impression, first impression, it's difficult to save face later. So take your time, do it right the first time. You'll be happy that you did. For everyone else, this is more like the Eight of Pentacles, which literally is a card where you see production on it. And it's saying, continue to work hard, get a second set of eyes and ears to look at stuff and make sure that nothing has been missed. And it is that attention to the fine print and detail that will serve you and everyone around you in the long run, okay? Then, kind of like a payoff is now I'm seeing a roller coaster, and I'm focusing on that very last bit where the car is just almost at the top of it, and then your stomach drops for a second and things happen fast. Focus on grounding yourself this month. So because literally I kind of feel like all of my insides went up for a second and then down. There is something that could be euphoric, could be very good news actually, but you want to stay firmly planted in, okay, I've been waiting for this. Here comes the drop like in music. It's okay. And all of the hard work will pay off. But we want to make sure that the foundation is firm, that the train is fully on the tracks so that you can ride the ups and the downs, okay? But I really do feel like there's this fun moment that is on the horizon. So hopefully this helps give you the context that you need to get there. Apollo's resting right behind us. So let's let him be. And let's get started on a very exciting new chapter. Again, we're going to look at 2 months, July and August. And I'm going to create some new connections that I haven't before in the spread. Before we do that, close your eyes, create a circle of light around your body. In that circle of light, welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. Okay, let's begin. So I spent about half an hour thinking of the way I wanted the spread to look, and I found something that works for me. All right, we're going to pull a few cards for 1 month and another. We're going to look at how the two relate. We're going to look at karma and outcomes, okay? So we'll start with the energy of July, past, present, future. Then we're going to look at August, past, present, and future. And then we're going to pull at the very top a connection. How do these 2 months connect? We're going to look at a potential, let me see if I wanted to do a block. I think I do, but we'll do connection, catalyst, and block. I think that would work the best. So a connection, a catalyst, and a block. Then we're going to look at the karma, and we're going to look at the outcome. Okay. So this will give us more than enough, and as I have some time later, we'll pull a few cards with respect to some of the other categories that we look at, like health, wealth, etc. All right, so I want to start off with the catalyst. So this is the connection, this is the catalyst. We normally begin with that. So the one thing that pulls everything together is the power of positivity the power of community, and also the ability to engage with things one step at a time. This is at the heart of the spread. This is at the heart of hopefully your life over this next 2 months. This also shows that sort of like euphoric up and down that I felt going on the roller coaster. So all of the build up and then the release. Take some time to enjoy, take some time to be present in this period of time. It's really, really important. I took a moment here and organized everything so it fit nicely within the view. As I did that, it really hit me how pivotal these 3 cards are. We literally have a foundational card here with the Empress, very grounded. We have the roots. We have the euphoric highs and lows that I was talking about here. So this is your catalyst, this is your connector, this is your block. So if you're not grounded, this journey could be a little bit off-putting or offsetting. So it's really important to take each day with a grain of salt, to take a little bit of time to have fun and realize that you're already poised for success. This is success, and it's not happening exactly when you think it's going to happen. A little bit of a spoiler alert. It happens further down the journey. But we have a little bit of foreshadowing here when we look at karma. So at the apex here, when we see the connector, you already know that something's going to happen, what you want, but there might be another. It feels like it's not just one and done. You might have someone expect something else very quickly, or you might have to come back and repeat something. There's a little bit of an unexpected twist to your moment in the spotlight. So be flexible. This is a card of mastery, meaning that whatever you set out to do, you will do it. The time, the way, the approach, maybe not exactly what you anticipated. Typically, we see people in this card and they're missing here. I'll pull the traditional one while we're talking, but what you might want to think of in this moment is, who can I work with that can help me solidify my approach? Am I doing my best to soak in each and every step of this journey? Because the process of doing it is actually part of the joy of this. And we have that 3 of Cups at the center, which does represent, I'm going to show the 2 traditional cards because they tell the story nicely. So your catalyst was this: community, connections, joy, celebration. And then we have a work card here too, the 3 of Pentacles: learning, recognition, partnership. And these 2 can go hand in hand. When you're feeling the joy of what you're doing, it no longer feels like work. So the magic key, the karmic key to success is to not just work hard, but enjoy it. And if there's something that you're doing where you're not enjoying it, it may not be the best application of your skills, your time, and your energy. So it's permission to move on. It doesn't mean that you can't succeed, but I would love for you to have both success and joy. And I think karmically and energetically and from a guide's perspective, that's it as well. The 3 of Pentacles also represents that it's just a job well done. Continue to work hard. This is the payoff for the 8 of Pentacles. So 8 of Pentacles that I mentioned in the channel message is all about setting things in motion. This is the payoff. So it looks like you're doing the work. You've done the work. Just continue to stay in that grounded approach. Okay, we have the card of success in the recent past. So starting the month off, you should feel this energy of payoff. We have 6 of Wands, a very unusual 6 of Wands, and we have a butterfly on this card, which is basically representing change and metamorphosis. There's resistance to change. I felt it this month when I wanted to try new things, but if you don't change, you don't grow. And if you don't grow, it's sort of like not the best use of time and energy. So I feel like in this moment, in order to expand, not only is it okay, but it might be optimal to try something different. This card is also encouraging you to redefine your own parameters for success. What your mom or dad thought was right for you may not be right for you. What your teachers thought you should do may not gel with your desires and your energy. And again, I would love for you to have the 2 of these cards, success and joy. They do not have to be mutually exclusive. They can work, in fact, together to empower one another. There's also with this card a desire to not put so much emphasis on what others think, because this is a very optical card. And what I mean by that is it's what others project or expect, but it doesn't necessarily gel with what you want. This is a time to spread your wings, Pisces. And spreading wings often means doing things that are unapproved, unexpected, or just unique. The whole idea of the original illustration was someone writing, sometimes without any recognition, is to lead the charge. So karmically, you've done the work. And as the month kicks off, I think it's going to be increasingly important to be willing to put yourself out there. Now we have coming through in the middle of July, the first challenge, which for many of you could be emotions. Feeling, like I said, when I was tuning in energetically, it's almost like you have to catch your breath, or I felt like my body was here, but my all the insides were here, and I was like trying to catch up. It's almost like when you project yourself energetically, like astral projection, you're here, but physically you're stuck here. So there's something like that where it's kind of like we need the alignment to happen. So you could either you might be making a decision this month. I want to step into this. I want to move away from that. And it could be a person, a place, a thing, a job. Something is hindering, anchoring, or creating some friction, and we want to release that so that you can fly high and so that you do not feel like you're carrying the emotional burden. So the biggest challenge as I look at July, and we'll look at the block in a second and see how it connects, but the biggest challenge seems to be emotions and emotional processing. There could also just be increased sensitivity. You can utilize that either way. So we have King of Cups energy. He's reversed. So what he's saying is, before I know what I want to do, I have to know why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. Is it coming from the external? Is it coming from the internal? Is it fear-oriented? Take time to sort and to learn about that. Once you do that, we can get this cup in the upright position and it should be smooth sailing. Self-care is the first hiccup, and I may pull some cards around health later, but that's what I'm seeing there. Relationships could also be a little tenuous, a little challenging. And what we see here is the first significant challenge here, and we're going to tie it to this. So this is the near future. It's reading as a slight block. Let's read the two together. So first things first. As you can see, this is not always the prettiest card to look at. This is the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords can have to deal with how we are dealing with stress in the world, stress in our head, stress in our environment. It doesn't have to go beyond this. It's one of the few cards in the minor arcana that looks worse than it is, specifically when illustrated like that. So you can either focus on all of the scary things that may end up being or not being this sort of energy of, well, maybe this will happen, maybe this will happen. Or you could take a step back and say, you know what? What if something else happens? What if it's not as bad as I think? What if I'm building it up to be a mountain when it's just a molehill, right? Now the block and how this blocks it. This is an authority figure. So the potential block could be a gatekeeper, a parent, a boss. It could also just be your own stubbornness, because the Empress and Emperor are very grounded, and this is kind of at the foundation of this whole spread that I've come up with today. And so for many of you, your roots are so firmly planted in one place that you're thinking, Nicholas, I'm afraid to move beyond the familiar. It's safe here. I feel okay here. So you don't have to do this alone. So the catalyst to get out of this is the Three of Cups. Now we can look at the conduit. The conduit will make more sense after we get through all of it, but let's look at the conduit now. The connection, the conduit between the 2 months is Eight of Cups. So you may reach the highest peak, and then there could be something anticlimactic, and that's why we see the broken cups there. Sometimes we think something will be more or less than it is, and we are surprised, and that surprise can feel overwhelming in the moment, but if you take a step back, and I think it helps to look at the traditional card, the mountain doesn't seem so overwhelming. In fact, you'll start to see patterns. So the big opportunity between July and August is to slow down before you hop into the next month and say, what did I do well? What isn't working? Did I miss something? Also, before making a major decision, take a trip, take a break, sleep on it. Don't be hasty. Don't rush. Very nicely connected to the whole idea of the mechanic that's trying to build something or fix something and something's missing. For anybody that's bought a bookshelf from a store, and there's like 100 pieces. I'm sure you've been through something like that where you think, wait, what's that? And then you just shove it in the drawer and think it's good enough. This is a month where I don't want you to think it's good enough when it comes to the construction of your life. If there's something that needs to be addressed, fix it. And that's really what this is about. There's another cool aspect to this, which is a broken dream or a lost chance is coming around again, and you're more prepared this time for it. Again, don't make a mountain out of something that's very small, okay? So now looking one more time, the catalyst this month is to connect with people that are joyous, supportive, fun, to continue to leverage the work that you've done here in the karmic past, not to plant yourself too firmly in one place, to allow yourself some fluidity, and then to take the highs and the lows in stride. What we see coming around again is a chance to shine. Now we've moved. That was July. Now we're into August. August is punctuated in the deep past by the star. It's overdue. This could actually come through at any point in this 8-week process. So for some of you, you could just jump straight into a star moment because it's connected to that 8 of Cups. Your challenge this month in how quickly or how brightly the star shines is not to mute your own light, to reach high and to not allow the past or the familiar to weigh you down. Someone may say, keep your voice down, or don't dream so big, or don't be so impractical. Well, that's how innovation happens. I mean, within reason, obviously, but imagination, intuition, inspiration, these are the things that get us excited about every day, right? Reach for the stars, folks. If not now, then when? This is a month to lean into your authenticity, to paint with a bolder paintbrush, and to take a risk, okay? Ostensibly, by this time, you've already done the work. So this is the learning of the lesson. This is the ability to recalibrate what you consider success to be. You've balanced out your emotions. You're not letting stress get the better of you. You're taking a step back, connecting with people that you love, and allowing yourself to be more flexible. After doing this, there's nothing to lose. I think here's the cool thing. We all realize at some point, what have I got to lose, okay? Now, this leans into the Magician card. So when you find your path and you radiate the authenticity, the ability to manifest comes through in the near future as we're looking at August. So this is a chance to launch a new project or product. This is a chance to really surprise even yourself in something. And this is where things get easier. The problem with the Magician as we're looking at August is focus and faith. When it's reversed, sometimes the Magician isn't listening to their better instincts and doesn't believe that it can happen. If you can't believe it, it doesn't mean that it won't happen, but it may not happen as quickly, and you may not recognize the synchronicity when it comes knocking, okay? Another general note with this, especially these two together, is you either feel it or you don't. Don't force or fight the connection, either way that it might be coming, okay? As we're looking at the near future for August, we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. At this point, it's important to pivot, take a step backward, and ask yourself, do I still align intellectually, also like psychically or intuitively with what I'm doing? Does it make sense? If it doesn't, stop, pivot, try a different direction. Really think things through and make sure that the vision is in alignment with yours, okay? Once that happens, nights move pretty quickly and things can start to develop. Don't be afraid to show. Showing is probably going to be better than telling when it comes to the month of August. And your charisma, your abilities, and also the demonstration that you might bring with the combination of these two things will seal the deal, okay? Now we look at the sort of destiny energy for this. This was the karma, this is the destiny. And what I see coming through for this big outcome card is a chance to know when to fight the fight, because the Queen of Wands, she's taking this idea and she's going to say, in no way, shape, or form am I going to let this fizzle out. So continue to fan the flame of what matters most to you, stand up for yourself ardently, and really put a line in the sand when necessary. It could be advantageous when you're exploring new avenues of opportunity to ask questions, listen, and sleep on things, going back to the Eight of Cups, the connector. Make sure that you're getting a chance to listen to other people's feedback, to look at it from a different perspective, which the Eight of Cups affords, and allow that to be something that informs the next steps for you. All right, we're going to do something new for the extended forecast. I'm going to pull 3 cards for health, wealth, and love. We already have destiny there. And let's see how this is going to factor out. It's going to be across the 2 months, so I'm just going to pull the 1 card with some general advice. And again, we're going to have probably a mid-month check-in, and we'll have our weeklies. We'll have plenty of chances to dig much deeper. All right, health, wealth, fantastic, and love. Let's start off with health. Health is your mind, body, and spirit. So Judgment, of course, has a card in the major arcana, which represents rebirth and reimagining new things. Here it says, I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. So one thing that we're looking at with respect to your general health is realizing that you don't want to beat yourself up for however you got to where you're at. You don't want to beat someone else up if you're doing fine and they're not. Let's not cast judgment. While we're talking, I'm going to pull the traditional illustration so we can look at it. What I love about this is if you've had a really challenging moment in time, judgment comes through saying, dust yourself off. This is your second chance. Sometimes you can come back stronger than imagined. Sometimes you can surprise people even if they don't think a certain level of recovery is possible. Here's your traditional card. We see souls rising up to meet a new tomorrow, to improve from the past. And this is a card of enlightenment and hope. Right after this is the expansive world card. The best is yet to come. You dodged this particular difficult moment. Let's take advantage of it. So in health, if a doctor said to take better care of yourself, now is the time to listen full on, ardently. All right, general notes around health. This is the main thing that pops out of this 2-month period. I feel like for many of you, there is stress management and heightened emotions. So whether you're just feeling things a little deeper than you normally would, or the stress around you is heavier than it has been before, take care of that. You have the capacity to see things through and to make a positive turn. Everything on this side looks really good. So I think that's going to pleasantly surprise you. Avoid extremes. The 3 of Cups can be going too far in anything, even joyous activities, everything in moderation. This is a very stagnant and stable and grounded card. And I think one of the things that the universe kind of wants in this moment in time for you is to become untethered. Imagine something new for yourself. Put into the future positive possibilities too. So I like to change negative thoughts or transmute them into a question. I can't. Why can't I? How can I? When will I? Conjugating the fear into a possibility, if you will, as someone who's learning languages. Sometimes we have to go into the different tenses of an emotion and bring it into the future possibility. And that's it. A wake-up call for most of you and a chance to turn a corner. Okay, let's move on to wealth, which is your resources, your life purpose, and your career. Everybody got success this month, which is great. As I said earlier, however, there is an encouragement potentially here to redefine success. It could happen in a way, shape, form, or time that surprises you. Be open to the happy surprises, if you would. Briefly looking at this, ever so briefly, I think it does make sense to drill a little bit into this, but not too far. So for those of you that are employed, what I see here is the work that you've done in the past will pay off in the future. There may be a step-up opportunity where something's lacking, title or pay, and you have to, if you want to stand up for yourself on that. I don't blame you. For everyone else, the networking, teamwork makes the dream work this month, and it looks like there is a spotlight moment. Challenges, stress management, and emotions. But overall, you're poised for success. There may be some frustration on why things aren't happening sooner. I think keep putting in the work, and you're going to have a moment to show people why they should pay attention to you. Use that moment when it happens to pivot into a promotion or another opportunity if you want to, okay? Lean into your skills, your talents, and your passions. For those of you that are entrepreneurs, we want to really focus on return clients. What can you do that can make things a little bit more sticky when it comes to products and services so people have you front and center in their mind? Focus on demonstrating and showing that marketing is going to be important. Prototypes or sneak peeks or something like that will be helpful to get people's interest enticed. That's what the guides are showing me, is to get people enticed. I like everything else that I'm seeing here. Again, just a general note on your own stress. And I think once you can work on return clients, that's going to be key as well. There is a chance for maybe an interview or some sort of general recognition. So get prepared for that. Think about how you would answer questions if you were out in the spotlight, okay? Looking at job seekers. Can you find something this month? Absolutely. I see a little bit of a disparity is the best word between what your skills are and what they're offering. Drive a hard bargain. You have good persuasive skills, particularly High Priestess and Magician Reverse. They can pull the rabbit out of the hat. So really shine a spotlight on your knowledge and how you apply your knowledge. And I do think you can at least get somewhere between these two. So you can get more of an increase in the pay or more of an increase in the title. Something is malleable, and it feels like they might be undercutting just a little bit. Where can you find it? Existing networks, and also going back to things that you'd applied to before. Very rarely do I say that, but this is something where it didn't work before, but it might now, okay? And we have a lot of mountains here, so this could be away from where you're at, but specifically in a more mountainous region if you're looking at city, state, countries, or provinces that might have that, since we have so much of that imagery coming through. Okay, students, stress management is the major block. Emotional health is a major block. Take care of yourselves. The thing that can help you this month is student life and student activities. I feel like you're poised for success. And this is typically study abroad or taking a break. Whatever you need to do to get perspective, this is the time to do it. Not to just sort of push through, without taking care of yourself. Enjoy the moment, each peak and valley, so that, it's not over lickety-split. Retirees. In this moment in time, you really get to step into what you want here. The star, spiritual development, artistic endeavors, and you being you. And then there might be new love that's coming in if you are retired and single. We'll look at that in just a moment. But generally speaking, I see a lot of people around you, and I see a chance for you to put to practice something that really is exciting. These three cards are showing a return to form. Doing an artistic endeavor, counseling someone, teaching, speaking, or just traveling the world a little bit if you'd like to in this moment in time. All right, let's go to love and relationships. Doubt is coming forth. I release the need to know all the answers. That definitely saves us a lot of time in love and relationships and life. If you're partnered, here's what I see. You're headed into a good territory here. It looks like the only thing that might be missing in this moment is a little bit more time together. This is chemistry, this is the spark, and both of these cards actually represent that. And the stagnation of the familiar, like doing the same old routine, or even stepping into a parental or boss-like mode with your partner, that isn't fun. We want to get back to the catalyst, which is love. We want to move beyond stress, allow the partner to be who they want to be, you be who you want to be, but have some fun together. More time for play, more time for intimacy, more time for togetherness. Less, hey, have you done this? Hey, have you done that? The only thing that really is continuing to call my attention is stress. And if the 9 can quickly go to a 10, which becomes an argument. So we need to find ways to compartmentalize our stress to not bubble that over onto everyone. And that helps everyone, not just those that are partnered, but particularly those that are partnered. If you are single and looking, can you find someone? Absolutely. Lots of fire energy coming forth, a deep soul connection, and you either feel it or you don't. If you're set up with somebody and you're not feeling it, or if you're on a dating app and you're matched with someone everyone thinks it's going to be okay, but you're not feeling it, don't force the connection. Because I see when it happens, it really happens. And that's why I felt like my heart skipped a beat, or all of the internal organs jumped up for a second like I was on the roller coaster. Catching your breath. You'll have someone that takes your breath away if that happens. If not, here's what you might want to focus on. You're not going to necessarily find someone by swiping on an app. This is social engagements. This is travel and activities. This is getting out of the house to do that. So I think it's important to just place yourself in environments that foster joy and happiness. Your laughter, your ability to emanate that sort of energy pulls someone else in. They could be an Aquarius. They could be a fire sign. But focus less on who and where they are, and more on getting yourself in a place where you feel good. Because it does feel like stress and self-care could be pulling you back a little bit from that, okay? School or work and social activities, that's where I see it in this spread. Single and happy, fantastic month for you, because we see the ability to level up, if you will, to create something exciting, to step into a role of passion and empowerment. This is really a month for personal development. And especially for those of you that are learning something new, you have a chance to hit it way out of the park. Now, as always, I like to look at a final card. Let me see if there's a summary for each month, just to kind of end it on a note like that. So 1 month again for July and 1 for August. The Tower and the Moon coming forth, both reversed. So as we're looking at what it's all about in the month ahead, change. But you're creating and empowering that change. So July, you are going through shaking out the foundations, doing whatever you need to do to make sure the cobwebs are done, and saying, I want this, I don't want this, I'm ready to release this. And understanding that sometimes you have to break something to break through. So like break an old habit so that you can open yourself up to something different. Kind of like what I did this month. And then what that results in is illumination. The moon is shining a light on something new, learning more about yourself, overcoming your fears. The key challenge in both months is distraction. So this month, so August is the fear. This is the change. And wondering, did I make the right change? Yes, you made the right change based on what I'm looking at. We need to really focus on comfort with ambiguity and being an agent of change, and then not being afraid to try. I think that's the key takeaway. Now, one last card. Anything, any question that you have, go ahead and put that out into the universe, and we'll take a look at what is coming forth. Queen of Swords in reverse. Speak up, speak out, speak often. But make sure that when you do it, that you take a pulse, a temperature check first. Is it the right time? You can even ask that. How are you doing? You can check up on something that you talked about yesterday, and then you can say, do you have a few moments? I'd love to talk more about this. If not, what works for you? You're giving a person a chance to catch their breath and create some level of control. So you can always check in like that. If you have something to say, keep it brief. Something that I'm trying to do with this reading too. Sometimes we say so much that it gets too hard to digest. So stick to the salient details, to the facts. And then if someone asks for more, you can always give more. You can't put it back in the box once it's been said, okay? Revise, edit, sign on the dotted line. In that order. Revision is necessary first before you sign. And in a yes or no situation, it's almost. The Queen of Swords in reverse is saying, I need to get a question answered or make the necessary revision before moving forward. So take a moment, take a breath, take a half step back, sleep on it, and then move forward. I hope you like this. It was a lot of fun for me to try something different, Pisces. And this is to get us caught up. If you enjoyed it, let me know what you did. If you'd like something else to come in, let me know what other ideas, because I might change it up next month too. We don't have to do the same old every single month. I actually saw a comment this morning where someone was asking for change. So I'm like, little do you know, this is what we're going to be doing today. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, do me a favor, hit the subscribe and share this with someone new. If you're a longtime viewer, hit the share button, leave a comment, and if you're new, please subscribe. If you would like to give back to the channel, you can put a super sticker, super comment, super chat. All of those sorts of ways of giving back are amazing. Also, becoming a member is a sort of set it and forget it way to show up. On my own website as well, there is a PayPal link at the top. So if you wanted to give back with that, you can do it. It's nicholasashbaugh.com. You can also follow me across social media. It's my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all major platforms, nicholasashbaugh.com on Blue Sky. And that's everything, folks. Thank you for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this 2-month forecast. We are now caught up. And again, my goal is to maybe keep us caught up and next month perhaps do another 2-month forecast. And just to give us pulse checks, you can let me know if you're interested in this. I might start doing like a mid-month or a bonus reading once we have this sort of like extra amount of reading space. That gives you a chance to look at all of it. So let's be flexible, let's be optimistic, and let's see where this format takes us. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much. Wishing you all the best.